the lead is Allison Taylor.
And that gets us up to date here, 4 o'clock. As we say, this is moving day.
Yeah, the teams that are sitting with a couple of losses, or 3 losses even, I think 3 and 3 would give you a chance at 3rd place or a tiebreaker. So both teams would really, really like to win this game because they'd like to stay in playoff contention.
Well, why don't you, while we're early in here, you have the standings so far in the pools. So why don't we check them out? So what it does, folks, first place team, you get a bye. They get a bye into the semis right off. So that's nice. They don't have to play 6:30 Friday night if you come first. Second and third will play a crossover, and that will be at 1:30 on Friday. So let's get the standings now.
So we have 14 ladies and 14 men's teams, and they're divided into 2 pools. So we have a ladies pool A, and in pool A right now, the Northwest Territories are leading the pool at 3-0. Alberta is 3-1. Saskatchewan is 2-1. We have BC at 2-2. Northern Ontario 1-2. Nunavut 1-3, and Quebec is at 0-3. And on the B side of the pool, leading that is Manitoba at 3-0. Team Newfoundland's 3-1. Nova Scotia is 2-1. Ontario is 2-1. New Brunswick 1-2. The Yukon Territories 1-3, and PEI is 0-4. So I think 4 losses would set you on the outside for sure, but all those teams with 3 losses really want to stay where they are. In the men's side, on Pool A, we have Manitoba at 4-0, Nova Scotia 3-1, PEI 2-1, Alberta 2-1, Yukon Territories 1-2, Quebec 1-2, and Nunavut 4-4. And in the B pool in the men's, BC is 3-0, Saskatchewan is 3-0, Ontario's 2-1, New Brunswick is 2-1. I think that's 2-2, but
2-2.
Yeah, Northern Ontario 1-2, Newfoundland 1-3, and Northwest Territories is 0-4. So that's the standings so far, and our game's rolling along. We see BC has the hammer. They have 2 counters in the rings, and Team Nunavut has a few rocks out in front to work with. So
BC has the hammer, and it's nice. I've been very fortunate today as the teams, like, you know, so there's yellow on the BC teams, and they got the yellow rocks. and the Nunavut team is a reddish color jersey, and they have the red rocks.
There you go.
So I'm glad the teams are trying to make it as easy as possible for us up here, so we can somewhat keep track of what's going on.
Of course, you realize there's a little yellow in the Nunavut uniform.
Yeah, you had to bring that up.
We'll disregard.
See, that's
that.
Joe. That's Joe.
We'll disregard that.
Yeah. I'm going to call it an orangey.
Yeah.
If you're tuning in for the first time, these games are 8 ends in length, so we will be having a break at the end of 4. A little 5-minute break for the teams to get a little refreshment or freshen up and get back on the ice again. And they're allowed 2 timeouts. And as you can see at the end of the rink there are clocks on them, so they are under the clock. It's 30 minutes of what do they call, Joe? Thinking time.
Thinking time, yeah.
Thinking time. So once the stone leaves their hand and they cross the hack line, it shuts off.
Yeah, it's the tee line in the house.
Yeah.
So once they've traveled about 6 feet with the stone, the clock is shut off, and the other team's clock won't start until the throwing team has cleared the ice. And what we say is that's giving the ice over to the opposing team. So right now, they'll wait till it's cleared before they go.
And just to give you an update on Nunavut's scores and who they played against, they lost 5-3 to Northwest Territories, defeated Quebec 6-3, and that was a huge victory for the ladies. They lost 12-5 to Saskatchewan and 12-0 to Northern Ontario. BC, on the other hand, defeated Northern Ontario 9-7. Lost to Northwest Territories 9-7, who are playing tremendous curling up to this juncture of the event. They won 11-2 against Quebec. That was earlier today. and they lost 7-4 to Saskatchewan. So that gives them their 2-2 record, and Nunavik is at 1-3.
Sorry about that, Keith. I just got a call from a snowblower guy. We've had 3 storms here in the river, and I've had to shovel my exceedingly long driveway.
Shovel?
Yeah.
That's just, Joe, that's wrong.
Oh, don't I know it? Don't I know it? So I'm glad to get the call and get the snowblower back.
It's you never, the middle of November, you don't like to hear the word using snowblower.
Yeah.
But
doesn't happen much for you guys down in St. John.
No, we're by the Bay of Fundy there,
yeah.
So a couple different degrees in temperature makes a difference.
Oh,
right?
don't I know it? So this end's rolling along, and BC looks like they're in pretty strong control of it. They've got looks like 4 counters in the house, and they're trying. I think the goal there was to try and cap the 2 shot stones. It left a little opening, so Nunavut does have a chance to come in and play a little hit and hopefully flop in behind. I don't think she's too worried about trying to make a double here. If she could just throw a nice quiet weight here, something that they can control and get a little turn inside, really would help out the girls. Whether she gets shot rock out of it or not, the big thing here would be to get that inside kick.
So I imagine your store, I mean, I imagine this is up and all on the computer screens and whatnot. Hear the main guy, the voice.
Well, I don't think the ladies that work with me are much for curling, but on the draws that I can't make it here, I have to admit I do kind of put it up. That was a lovely shot, just what you wanted to do.
Hit and behind cover.
Yeah, got the flop. She is shot stone. Just left BC a run back, and I think the girls may owe her a tall sudsy one already, and it's only the first end. Thank you, Skipper. That's they'll say, oh, that's what the last shooter gets paid for, but when you're playing a game like this, you don't want to get paid too much, right? So you don't want to be counted on like that every year. So now BC's trying to play a run back on that top stone in the 12, and oh, well-made shot, took out shot stone, and BC's back to loading a bushel up there, so hasn't left Team Nunavut much right now. It looks like she's going to try and just play a little come around to the shot stone.
Griffin in the house, in the hack. Shot is away.
Sometimes stuff happens. You really hate to put your skipper under the gun like this the very first end, but she's looking like a little hot, and it's hanging out there on her. So it's just as well she racked. She left the center guard, something that she can use in her next shot, and if she hadn't, she would have just sailed right through. So she's hoping that'll give her a little bit of feel for the next stone. Team BC is going to kind of try to come around right what she put up there. Lori looks like she's taking ice for the come around, and a great chance for her to draw weight. Not a lot of pressure on this shot. She just wants a rock and play either in front or around that redstone, preferably around the redstone, just not deep. Trying to make the last shot for Allison Griffin as hard as she possibly can. So the gals are kind of on and off this. We always like to see when you're throwing that last rock and you're throwing a draw, you like to see the sweepers up and down, up and down. That usually means you're pretty close to the weight.
Like to get those sweepers involved.
Oh yeah, nothing like having all 4 members make a shot.
There's a nice shot.
Yeah, she's
beautiful.
In there well. Team Nunavut can corner freeze to that, and it would outcount everything else in the end. And a corner freeze on that would be a really nice shot. I think for myself that would be the play. And so we're going to talk about this. I know the Chantel in the house is kind of looking at a tap back, but you don't want to get rid of your backing here. If you could just hang something on the corner of that rock, it would be the play. The tap back is really tough, and you've just seen the draw made, so we'll see what she wants to do. I think we're having a little disagreement here, but that's healthy. Either shot's great if you make it. They're always good if you make them. She's in a little tougher. She's facing 5, and nobody wants to start a game this way. Oh, good. She's got to curl some. That's got to come up a little more. I get off it. So just a little overswept, but she is laying number 3. So there's lots of shrapnel behind that red rock too, and it's pretty much buried. So she has outcounted 3 of BC's stones by that attempt, and it looks like BC's just going to try and draw down to their own. You don't want to gamble and chase something and take a great end away from yourself. And at the start of the game, I'm sure Laurie would have been just fine with saying, "Oh my gosh, we got 3." So
yeah,
get the double bonus point. Laurie's just thrown this draw, so she should have a little bit of feel for the weight, confidence in the ice she's taken. Rock's on the way. Once again, she's kind of hoping to see the brushes down. The girls are kind of walking along,
waiting for it.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling. It has to come up a fair ways to get by their red rock and slide in there nice. Yeah, she's
beautiful.
Right there again.
Look at that.
Yeah,
great shot. So
big 3. Big 3 for BC to start the game.
When it's a really good shot, you don't need a brush.
Yeah, it's cool enough out there, though. I'm sure they wouldn't mind giving it a little scrub, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind making them scrub a little bit, because she just pulled off that red guard at the very last second.
Well, I know the Nunavik girls were some excited yesterday. They were down here in Sheet 1 playing against Quebec, and they made a lot of big shots, and they played really well to garner their first victory 6-3 yesterday. So that was a big accomplishment for the team, and one of their first victories on the Travelers there for a while. So I was trying to find the article. I read it somewhere now. I could have read it in the paper. So, well, speaking of that, I do have the paper with me.
Yeah, well,
because I like to get it straight.
What's nice about this Travelers Club Championship are these are all club teams. All these teams have participated in the league and their club together, and so what they've done is they've come out here by winning their province, playing other club teams. That's why we have these 8-in games. Unlike the 10-in games you see in competitive play, in the clubs we all play 8-in games, and so they just continue that through. It's just like that's why they're playing the 4-rock rule out here today. Most competitive leagues and stuff are switching over to the 5-rock rule, and I believe Curl Canada is going to the 5-rock rule this year. But since all these teams qualified under the 4-rock rule, that's what they're playing this weekend.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yes. You don't want to change your midstream. So as we're looking out, I see that all the sheets have finished the first end. So on sheet A, we have 0-0 with Nova Scotia and Nunavut, and that's a men's game, and Nova Scotia keeps the hammer. On sheet C is another men's game, and on sheet C we have Yukon Territory taking on Team Alberta, and Alberta took 2 in the first end. On sheet D we have Northern Ontario, and Northern Ontario is playing Team Quebec, and Northern Ontario took a deuce in the first end. On sheet E, it's a men's game, and we have the Quebec men taking on PEI, and PEI took a single in the first end. And way over on the far sheet, sheet F, we have the Northwest Territories playing Saskatchewan, and the Northwest Territories snapped a big 4 in the very first end. So
I tell you, that team is playing really well.
Yes.
They went an extra end. They were this morning 2 undefeated teams, them in Alberta, and we know Alberta is always strong. And went an extra in, and the Northwest Territories girls pulled it out.
Yes.
A big victory for them to remain undefeated, and they've continued that play into this afternoon, because Saskatchewan, where they're sitting at with the record.
Well, in the ladies' side, Saskatchewan's 2-1, so obviously they're having a good run.
Yep. So. And Joe and I will keep you definitely updated on all the action that's going around the arena here at the Miramichi.
Yeah, we have a 6-sheeter here at the Miramichi Curling Club. It's a fairly new facility. It was built finished in 2006, and the ice is terrific. We're getting lots of curl on every sheet, both outside in, inside out, and lots of late movement. It's a
nice shot.
Yeah, nice nose hit there. It's they sharpened the rocks for this year event, and so if you don't come out and put a really good positive handle on the rock, you're going to see it just take right off. So that's going to be a little different for most of these players that haven't curled in competitive play, and just mostly curling the club. But a great learning experience.
Chris Tapley is the head ice maker. And Chris is from the Fredericton area.
Yes.
But Chris has been working with a great staff up here at the Miramichi Curling Club. And Chris has gone around, and he's been to different national events, and he's also traveled for international events to make the ice as best as possible. So the competitors here are getting top-notch, let's say, maintenance on keeping all the surfaces consistent, and
you see them out shaving the ice between every draw. You're right. I've seen Chris at Briars and at Scotty's and at World events, and as an assistant ice maker. And Darwin McAllister is the ice technician for the Miramichi Club, and Chris says Darwin's right top of his game. He's a good ice maker in his own right, and so the guys have a great facility for these people to play on. So this is a fairly open end off after all the rocks we had in play in the first end.
Well, there's a miss.
Yeah, we had our first miss at the end.
And I find that the draw before that, the men's, same sort of thing when those rocks are out there on the right-hand side of the 12 and they're going for it. Sometimes it has a tendency, it doesn't curl, it slides almost, drifts a little bit.
That's what I mean by a positive handle, Keith, and
yes.
A positive rotation. When you have ice like this and the rocks are sharpened, I've seen rocks that have buried behind rocks in the top 12 foot and been dead buried and still be in front of the tee line. So when you get that kind of movement and the rock's moving that much, if you throw what we call a slow or lazy handle, it's almost like the rock's picking going down. So on ice like this, you want about 3.5 or 4 turns. And a lot of club players, if they throw what we call a lazy handle, you'll see the rock turn maybe a rotation or rotation and a half. And if you do that out here, you're going to see a lot of misses on lightweight takeouts and a lot of guards be racked on draws because they're just going to get another 8 or 10 inches of movement on a rock they don't expect.
See, folks, that's why we got him sitting up here. He's just a wealth of knowledge. He's more than a pretty face. He has a mind.
Yeah, we're still looking for it. So now Team BC is laying 2, and it looks like they have a great chance to force the girls from Nunavut. And looks like they're going to make a play on the outside rock. Now you can see Chantel's handle is a little more positive than what Carmen's was, and the rock is holding a bit more than what the shot was just previous. Both rocks about the same weight. A huge curl in the first one, so I think the girls got tricked on that one. You've seen the huge curl in the first one, and probably only about 8 inches of curl in the second. So that makes a huge difference when with the handle. A lot of people wouldn't realize that. And if, like I say, if you're mostly just playing club play, something like that can catch you. So Team BC has got what we call a little bit of wealth of riches out here, and trying to figure out where to put this third rock. And it looks like they're going to try and come around the one they have in the top 12. With the movement here, it should vary quite nicely, so it's just a matter of weight. You see a good positive handle coming down with Kelsey's rock. A little light though, got a little wide. Sometimes when you get that wide and there's not that many rocks.
They're sweeping hard here.
Yeah.
Trying to get a bite.
Yeah. The only thing they've done is they've kind of hooked their counter, so really this is an ideal situation for Team Nunavut to come right around that, and if they bury one, you can't get at it. So if they want to get aggressive here, they have a great chance to make their deuce. And it looks like they may be playing a rock in the house, so this is what we call a fairly defensive play. They're worried about the rocks out front. The problem is when you have a counter out on the side, and we're getting late in the end here now, there's only 5 rocks left. So BC, this is giving BC a great chance to do what we call force, and that would make Nunavut take 1 point with the number. You're on it. And maybe Chantel just doesn't feel confident right now in her weight, but
tough one.
Yeah, she was fortunate. She missed the rock that she was actually shooting at, and so she's laying on the side. The break for them there is that they can't slide another one around, and it may turn out for the best yet.
Wilson going back for her first shot here in the second end. 3-0 BC. Nunavut with the hammer.
Lori made 2 lovely draws last end to get her 3 points. So now we'll see her throw her first take it. So she's coming down. They're off and on it, which is always a good sign. She has a good rotation on the rock. Those are working it now.
Maybe a little rolling.
A little flopping, yeah.
Nice shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the girls have kind of made their bed. The time to go was when the 2 rocks were hooked. If you go around that now, it would be a short run back on the Yellowstone to take the red one out. So if they could just roll this a little bit under, and then they get a chance at a blank. So the girls are on this. A little less weight on this one, so we'll see. Yeah, she's going to rack the front. So yeah, that would have only just been hack weight, and I'm sure Allison was probably trying to throw something a little more than that. So that's okay. The girls don't have their feet quite down the ground yet. And this gives BC, they're laying 3, so there's no chance for Nunavut for a deuce this end. So they have a chance to apply a little more pressure. They're going to try and come around their rock in the top 8 foot.
last stone for BC. Sitting 3, Joe. Sitting 3.
Yeah. Allison's probably just trying to get herself her mindset ready to throw this draw. She's probably just thinking about the draw.
Yeah.
She's going to watch and see where Lori lays with this one. Only hit it if it's right into the forefoot, and so she's always come up a little light here. She's got it a little wider, but she does black part of the path off to the forefoot.
Yeah. Just make it a little difficult.
Yeah, just a little trickier to try and get in there.
Lisa Robitaille already has the jacket off. She's been sweeping hard out there. First layer has come off.
Yeah, they're scrubbing away. So.
Yeah.
So Allison must feel comfortable with throwing a draw. Looks like she's a little tight for line. She could have played the shot rock on BC and gotten her one that way too. So it looks like
she might just knock that in for another point.
She is racking on that, and so it's a steal of 4.
Wow.
So it's not getting any prettier for the poor gals from Nunavut, but it's early in the game. We still have 6 ends to go, and we'll see the girls try and pull up their socks and give her a go going back the other way.
Give her.
Yeah.
Give her a go.
Give her on the river. We were talking about sayings and colloquialisms.
Yes. So now, if you're tuning in for the first time for the BC crowd, well, all of us, the Nunavik, Miramichi, New Brunswick, is up on the northeast part of the province, and we're about an hour 15 minutes drive north of Moncton. So that might help you geographical understand where we're located at. Obviously, Joe has talked about Miramichi. We have Miramichi River, the mighty Miramichi, 250 kilometers in length from stem to stern.
Beautiful river.
Famous for salmon fishing, and there's many salmon lodges and guides up through the system. Bass is becoming very popular fishing here, where they have events. This is the festival city.
Yeah, we have something going on in the area through the summer, just about every weekend, and we have a lot of people who volunteer, and hats off to those folks who work really hard to make anybody who comes to the area have a great experience. Very, very friendly area. I know anybody can say that, but I know it's very true of the local area, and a very picturesque area. So I'm pretty sure that these participants are being shown a great time by the locals, and
well, and that's a great thing with the Maritimes in itself. You're not too far from St. John, or about less than 3 hours drive away. But in Moncton, which is called, the nickname is the hub, because in Moncton, you, like you said, hour and 15-minute drive, go north, you're in Miramichi. Hour and a half drive, you're in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Yeah. Right, 2.5 hours, if that, you're in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're going around the bend to Halifax, if you hang a left, you can go up to Cape Breton.
Yes.
So 3.5 hour drive that way. So you're nice centrally located. If you come flying to Moncton or whatever, you want to go down the coast, the Bay of Fundy, obviously the highest tides in the world. I think it's 160 billion tons of water come in and out of the bay, high tide to low tide. So it's an amazing ecosystem for wildlife.
Yes.
The whales and the birds and whatnot. So it's an amazing cleansing, and talking about the bay. It's the shape of the Bay of Fundy. The Bay of Fundy is wide at the start, and it gets narrower and shallower. So further up you go up the coast, we can have tides up to almost 48 to 50 feet.
Yes, I had a chance as a young fellow to work in Passamaquoddy Bay down by St. Stephen.
Yes,
lifeguard in a spot called Oak Bay.
The Oak Bay,
and we had about anywhere from 29 to about a 33-foot tidal shift. And when you're lifeguarding at the beach, there's a little island on the other side of the causeway, and so we'd have tourists go to the island, pick berries, and then we get the call and say, "Oh, Mr. Lifeguard, can you bring the canoe over? We have to get some tourists off the island." So we made more rescues off the island than we did in the bay, but and people would set up a camera and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to film that tide coming in." And I'd say, "Well, do you have 6 hours?"
Yeah, 6 hours and 13 minutes.
Yeah, on the tidal
changes.
change. Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's an amazing spot. It's Natural History Magazine called it one of the most unique destinations in the world to experience. You can walk on the ocean, and 6 hours and 13 minutes later, you can kayak around the islands.
Yeah, it's pretty. The Hopewell Rocks and everything right along there, and the Fundy National Park. Very, very pretty area. And on the other side, through Digby and Nova Scotia, on the other side of the Bay of Fundy, equally you're going to find just breathtaking scenery. It's like that through the Maritimes.
Yeah. Well, and just to the west of us here, obviously the famous St. John River.
Yeah.
It goes all the way, I think it's over 23 kilometers or something, the St. John River is. And that's a beautiful system going down through Woodstock to Brunswick and the capital city, Fredericton. So,
yeah, all through the Maritimes.
Yeah. Picturesque.
Yes.
And the traffic's not bad.
Well, it's pretty close to everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't get quite the drives you do in some of the bigger provinces.
Well, the nice thing here is Nunavik has shot stone.
Partially guarded. They're trying to put a little pressure on. Down 7-0. It's time for all hands to go to the pump. And
pick that. Nice shot.
Out, but there's lots of room to get around that again.
Yeah.
And Nunavut are set up well to get a great crack at getting a pair this end. They really have to sink one in here. But a great chance to get back in the game.
Also, what is happening here this week, if you go on the website, the Curling Canada Foundation for the Love of Curling, go on the tournament website and click on teams. And when you click on teams, it'll come down men's and women. So let's just say, for example, you're a BC supporter. Click on women's, and then all the women's teams will come up and their picture and their names and whatnot. But underneath the team will say, help support your team. And if you click on that icon, a new page opens up, and it's a fundraising page for youth curling. And they are the programs that go all across the country into the school systems, learn to curl programs. So all the money that's raised, and each team has a goal in mind, and there's a chart to the right to see how they're making out. But if you make a donation, it goes directly into for youth curling to promote the sport, and what a great sport to introduce to children at a young age. And also the benefit from a team perspective is there's a $400 minimum, and if they not say you have to donate $400 all at once, they just have to raise it over a bunch of donations. And if they do, then they have a ballot to win some great prizes brought to you by Curling Canada and their sponsors.
So just a way for teams and people to get back to the game that a lot of us love in this country, and it's youth curling that brings along the next Gushu or the next Holman.
That's right.
And we have a fairly strong Little Rocks and Junior program here at the club. Over on the sideboards, I know you can't see them from here, but we have all the Little Rocks lined up. And over on sheet 6, you see two extra set of rings, and those are for Little Rock play because they play on a smaller sheet. And we have a board that has a hack in it, and that's why you can see how far they are out. It has a double-sided hack, and they play mini games on that sheet. It turns it into 2 sheets, so it's youth curling is where it's at in curling. To keep the game going, we have to keep the youth involved.
That's right.
And in our game here now, Chantel, the mate, she skipped, but she's throwing mate's rocks, is trying to play a little raise back. Has to just come up a hair. Lovely shot. She got a little flip inside. And well played. That was just a lovely shot by Chantel. Now Team Nunavut's got one buried. And the girls really want to score. When you're down like this, you have to start off by trying to make a few little victories. So if the girls can score a deuce here this end, one or two, preferably a deuce, then they're going to feel like, okay, something positive's happened, and they're going to get back in the game.
You might not win the war, but let's win a few battles.
Yeah. Well, you have to start with something positive. And Chantal made a great throw, and they got a little break now. And the nice thing for Team Nunavut here is the two rocks out front have kind of hooked themselves a little bit, so there's no run back anymore for Team BC in the front. They do have a rock in the side in the top 12, but I think you're going to see Team Nunavut to try and put the foot in the gas and see if they can't make a little something happen here for themselves. Taking lots of ice, you can see down there. We're looking at probably 5.5, 6 feet of curl, and you'll see if you see a really positive handle, you're going to see a little less curl. If the handle's a little slower, you're going to see a lot of curl. And it looks like Chantel has a decent handle on the rock. And the girls got to get on this quick, because once these rocks go,
they start going.
They take right off. You can't hold them with sweeping. You have to catch it before it takes off. And it really looks like she's on the front, but it's not heavy enough to
create any damage.
And now they're well guarded out front, top 4 foot. We always call that position 1A right there. And Team BC is a little worried about trying to clear that front, because if they hit that top red rock, it will probably send the second red rock onto the yellow rock in the 12 foot. So you hate to make a shot for your opponent. So she is looking at running that rock back in the top of the 12. Yeah, she runs the rock in the top 12 back. She may get thrown, or peel the one that's blocking shot stone.
Yeah. When you're up 7-0, you can try shots like this.
You can do whatever you want when you're up 7-0. You're trying not to let the other team jump into the game too far. Ideally playing this open stone. I don't know if she can see enough of it to make the double, but she might. There is a bit of separation as far as distance goes, and with the way the ice is curling, it's really walking over. What she doesn't want to do is rack anything in the front and maybe push another red counter in. So whether she makes a run back or just opens up the stone, she'd consider that a shot made. So Lori's rock's on the way. So it must be close. The girls are on it, and she got just a straight run back.
Yeah. Coming across it enough.
Yeah, now, of course, that gives BC control of the front of the house, and she'll have 2 rocks to raise in, and Nunavut's at the point now where they really have to score a few points. One really doesn't help them that much. They're going to try and come around, and if they can, if Allison can sink one in here, that'll give them a chance at a 3-point end and get them right back in the game. So the girls are working this a bit. It's out there a little further than what Chantel's was, and we should see it start to move now.
Trying to hold up.
Yeah, you can see them walking along. It's coming over. She'd love to, even if she tucks a little bit of that, it'd be nice. But she's left it out in the open, and it's wide open, so it gives BC a chance to get a little hit and roll. Shot stone. Lori's had a pretty solid game, so
yeah, very solid.
Yeah, she's licking her chops to get a whack at that wide open rock. So sometimes you can't get down back to the hack quick enough to throw one of these.
You think it might move on you?
Yeah, Might slide something else out in front when you're not looking.
And we have one more round this evening, and that will be at 7:30 tonight. In our 7:30 draw, on our featured sheet, we have Northern Ontario taking on the Ontario men's. Ooh, the Battle of Ontario.
All right. And then Manitoba plays Yukon in the ladies' game over in sheet 5 tonight. So.
Yeah, she took care of business, and now she's now shot.
Yeah, great hit and roll. That's a lovely shot by Laurie, well executed, and dead in behind cover. And they're looking at playing a run back. The run back's just for making one, so she has to make a run back with a double, or she could throw the rock she just threw, cut down her ice just a little bit. The weight was fine. She just has to curl full 4 foot. She can actually reach the button on the in-turn. And I think that's a shot she just threw, and it might be a lot easier shot. So I'm glad to see them change their mind. You don't have to make this any harder than it is. Just threw this rock, and all you look for it to do is curl up another half a rock.
Good adjustments.
Yes. Well, both shots are tough, but I'd say the run back is a little tougher because she's just thrown this rock, and curlers, we kind of like to throw the same rock. Her weight was awfully nice. She's thrown this out to the sweepers. It's coming in a little better, so it's just a matter of weight now. The line is excellent. The girls are really working
Sweeping it. Come on, bring it in.
Yeah, I think
just a little short.
Yeah, the girls just got caught watching it a little bit there, but she definitely.
That's a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1. So now girls are down 8-0. So that's a pretty big mountain to climb there. Down 8-0 after 3 ends. So girls will just have to keep pegging away here. On sheet A, we see that Nunavut took 1, so they're down to Nova Scotia 3-1, and Nova Scotia has a hammer. That's a men's game. On sheet C, also a men's game. Alberta is up on Team Yukon Territories 3-0. On sheet D, which is a ladies' game, we have Northern Ontario playing Quebec, and Northern Ontario snapped a 4-ender, so they're up 6-1, and Quebec has the hammer there. Over on sheet E, which is a men's game, we have Team Quebec and Team PEI, and they're both tied at 2. And over on the last sheet, we have the Yukon ladies team taking on Saskatchewan, and right now they just finished the end and the third end, and looks like Saskatchewan has scored, and so it was 5-0.
5-1 now.
5-1. So the Saskatchewan ladies, there's their little victory. They were down 4-0. It's 5-1 now. And in our game, being up 8, BC just threw the first one in the house, and I think you're going to see Nunavut try and get a guard out front, try to make something happen to themselves.
And we're in the 4th end already, though,
yeah, the
Joe.
Game is sailing by. So the girls are just, they want to make a game of this. They're going to try and score here, and after the break, see what they can do. So looks like they're a little long on the draw. They didn't really want to be in the house. Now they're really hoping it just stays in the house. So yeah, they've slipped one through. And I've seen Nunavut play a couple of games, and they're just having a tough game because their other games are fairly close.
Yeah. So they played. I thought they made a lot of really good shots in that Quebec game last night.
It's tough when you're involved in a game like this. These teams, they've all come here to curl, and they want a good competitive game, and you don't really want to be up 8-0, and I know you certainly don't want to be down 8-0. So both teams like a good competitive game. So.
Well, they want to work on their shots and stuff too, because there's going to be situations in other games.
Yep.
So it's situational play, and the more they can get on the ice and use their shots, the better. But
Still learning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's still learning. So with 2 rocks biting the 8-foot, Nunavut again. I think they just looked at a little corner freeze in here. With the 4 rock rule, even if they put this out in front, Team BC could still play the stone. So they're going to try and make it as hard as they can to remove by getting as close to a freeze as they can.
Well, we have a big curling season coming up as we're already into it, but the 2018 Home Hardware Canada Cup will be December 5th to 9th in Saskatchewan. And then the World Financial Group Continental Club, if you want to get away, is in Las Vegas. And that's January 17th to 20th in Vegas. And the 2019 New Holland Canadian Juniors. I had the opportunity to do the U18 Juniors down in St. Andrews, New Brunswick this past spring. So the Canadian Juniors are in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and that's January 19th to 27th. And the Scotties are coming back to the East Coast, Joe, February 16th to 24th in Sydney, Nova Scotia at Center 200.
So that'll be a great venue for that event.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Tim Hortons Briar, one of the sponsors here at this event, will be March 2nd to 10th, Brandon, Manitoba. And last but not least, the 2019 World Men's Curling Championship, March 30th to April 7th in Lethbridge, Alberta.
You'd almost call that the heartbeat of curling, wouldn't you? Out in Alberta and Manitoba, out west, all those little places, they all have a curling club. That's where everybody comes to meet.
It's the pulse of the community.
Yes. Yeah, you'd have the church and the curling club.
Yeah.
And maybe a Legion.
Yeah, I hear, and here obviously this. How many members will we have at this curling club, Joe?
Well, I'll have to. I've had to take a little break from the game because of my knee. So, but as a rule, there's usually about close to 178 members thereabouts. You know, when you include the Omega League and the seniors, and that wouldn't include junior curling. So they have quite a few junior curlers here too. It's a fairly healthy program.
And of course, the next spot to hang out is the Civic Center, the curling rink for the Timberwolves, the junior hockey team. Yep. Just their home is just down the road from here, so, and they draw very good attendance for their games. Yeah, the community loves something to do, and most winters are fairly long here. This year she's going to be a month longer. So. Yeah. And my wife's real excited when she saw the snow. Oh. My dog was.
Yeah.
My wife, not so much.
Yeah, especially, like I say, when that blower's still at the shop, right?
Yeah. Here we are. We're into the fourth end here, folks. It's 8-0 BC over Nunavik. We will be taking a short 4.5 minute break between the fourth and eighth. And like I said, we will keep you posted on the other scores as they happen around. We have another featured sheet on sheet 5 today, and that's Quebec and the BC men. Oh, excuse me, Quebec and PEI. They're tied up at 2-2. So I'm seeing quite a bit of yellow.
Yeah, the girls still are having a tough time here. Things aren't going, you know.
Well, and then you can sort of get behind. You're trying to start making shots that you might not normally make if it's a one rock game or 2 rock game. You say, okay, but you think you have to do more?
Yeah.
But they do have the hammer, so they just gotta. Here comes the shot here, and that is the curl's gonna. Might get 2 of them if it gets the inside.
Yeah, well, it didn't miss that by much.
No.
Even if she had a roll on top, it would have been just a terrific shot. She didn't have to get the 2 because there's so many rocks in play. Came very close to it. She probably was trying to just roll on top, make it a little harder for them to get the red stone in.
moved. So BC.
Lane 4 again. So the girls are definitely having a tough one, and sometimes just hard to get things going back on track.
Oh, walk coming.
Yeah. Boys are a little asleep at the wheel now.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul on that one. I've taken some of my worst flips off rocks coming off another sheet.
I bet.
Oh yeah.
That's probably why the knee is probably another reason.
Yeah, well, no, that's...
Baseball?
No.
Mostly curling?
Mostly curling, but I played a lot of hockey and a lot of soccer, and I started into the game with a kind of
nice shot. Knee. There it is.
Nice double there.
Nice.
Double there. And, yeah, 2 of those lemons gone into there, and like I say, any little victory at all they get now is going to be better for the girls.
Hit
so we see a takeout by Laurie. They're back to lane 3, but this one's high enough that the girls have a chance to get around it. And there's lots of room in the house to count one behind that, and they won't even mind if they're back a little deep because it makes the run back a little harder. They don't want to be too close to it.
And we have to thank our sponsors that are helping out with this event. We have Pizza Delight, Subway, Curling NB, the City of Miramichi, the Province of New Brunswick, Tim Hortons, Jet Ice, we bring ice to life, and obviously our presenting sponsor, Travelers Insurance. It's better under the umbrella. Nice shot there. And Towns Auto, Chrysler, Ford, and Mazda dealerships. They have helped out tremendously with transportation for this event, getting the teams to and from the hotel and wherever else they need to go. So a big thank you for that. And it's great to have the local support of sponsors to make this event happen. There's many moving parts, as you can appreciate if you ever hosted a provincial or fortunate enough to hold a national event. They have over 100 and plus volunteers here this week from the community to make this a success. Sean Ingersoll, the president of the club and the chairman of this event. This is a nice shot and a roll. That's going to roll out. So BC is still sitting 3. How this event really started was Sean, who's the president of the club, but obviously an active curler. They won the provincial championship to go to the Travelers National a few years ago in Ottawa. And when they got there, Sean, he said, we could run this event in our place. And came back home and talked to a few people that, and they said, yeah, let's go for it. So they lobbied Curling Canada and said, we can do this. And we want to have this. We have 6 sheets in our rink, and it's a new facility. And we want to have it. So here we are in 2018. The Nationals is here with 28 teams, and it's just so cool to see. And Joe, you were commenting on it before the game starts. After the teams warm up, they all line up and they get introduced, and they're giving out some photos, team photos, team pictures, beautiful team pictures,
poster style, yeah.
So it's really nice to see that, and it just adds an air of like, this is a national. And even teams who, you know, they're lots of time it's their first time to be at a national.
Yep.
So anyway, we're going to take a short break here. We got 4.5 minutes. So I hope you come back to the 2018 Travelers Club Championships here from Miramichi, New Brunswick.
Modesty, with humility. We own our mistakes. When defeated, we concede without shame. Win or lose, we hug with abandon, because we genuinely care about our fellow athletes. Curling doesn't discriminate. The ice doesn't judge. It adapts. It accepts. Curling isn't a book to be judged by its cover. On these sheets, everyone is on the same page. It's what's on the inside that counts. The path to victory isn't always smooth. We use friction as an advantage and adversity as an opportunity. The battle is within ourselves, to improve, to advance. We dream big. We play with heart. We focus on these circles and imagine podiums in far-off places. Curling is what the world needs right now. Connection to one another, one team, one community. Curling is more than a sport. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy, a movement, a belief in self, in kindness, in good health, and in good fun. Supported by a passionate community steeped in tradition and united in pride. In a game of inches, every move counts. Are you ready to make yours? The support of the curling community makes it possible for thousands of kids across Canada to follow their dreams, on and off the ice. Thank you for giving generously. Curling teaches as much about life as it does about sport. Club, team, house, lead, rock. These are the words of our sport, words we embody, powerful words, words that speak to everything we represent: respect, togetherness, strength. Our games begin with a handshake and a kind word. We congratulate our opponents when they make a good shot. We remain silent when they falter. We even call our own fouls. When we win, we celebrate with modesty, with humility. We own our mistakes. When defeated, we concede without shame. Win or lose, we hug with abandon, because we genuinely care about our fellow athletes. Curling doesn't discriminate. The ice doesn't judge. It adapts. It accepts. Curling isn't a book to be judged by its cover. On these sheets, everyone is on the same page. It's what's on the inside that counts. The path to victory isn't always smooth. We use friction as an advantage and adversity as an opportunity. The battle is within ourselves, to improve, to advance. We dream big. We play with heart. We focus on these circles and imagine podiums in far-off places. Curling is what the world needs right now. Connection to one another, one team, one community. Curling is more than a sport. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy, a movement, a belief in self, in kindness, in good health, and in good fun. Supported by a passionate community steeped in tradition and united in pride. In a game of inches, every move counts. Are you ready to make yours? The support of the curling community makes it possible for thousands of kids across Canada to follow their dreams, on and off the ice. Thank you for giving generously. Curling teaches as much about life as it does about sport. Club, team, house, lead, rock. These are the words of our sport, words we embody, powerful words, words that speak to everything we represent: respect, togetherness, strength. Our games begin with a handshake and a kind word. We congratulate our opponents when they make a good shot. We remain silent when they falter. We even call our own fouls. When we win, we celebrate with modesty, with humility. We own our mistakes. When defeated, we concede without shame. Win or lose, we hug with abandon, because we genuinely care about our fellow athletes. Curling doesn't discriminate. The ice doesn't judge. It adapts. It accepts. Curling isn't a book to be judged by its cover. On these sheets, everyone is on the same page. It's what's on the inside that counts. The path to victory isn't always smooth. We use friction as an advantage and adversity as an opportunity. The battle is within ourselves, to improve, to advance. We dream big. We play with heart. We focus on these circles and imagine podiums in far-off places. Curling is what the world needs right now. Connection to one another, one team, one community. Curling is more than a sport. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy, a movement, a belief in self, in kindness, in good health, and in good fun. Supported by a passionate community steeped in tradition and united in pride. In a game of inches, every move counts. Are you ready to make yours? The support of the curling community makes it possible for thousands of kids across Canada to follow their dreams, on and off the ice. Thank you for giving generously. Curling teaches as much about life as it does about sport. Club, team, house, lead, rock. These are the words of our sport, words we embody, powerful words, words that speak to everything we represent: respect, togetherness, strength. Our games begin with a handshake and a kind word. We congratulate our opponents when they make a good shot.
We're seeing a couple more yellow rocks in play, of course. They're trying to draw all the play into the house, and the team from Nunavut is going to try and work to get back into this game a little bit, try and make it a little more respectable. I'm sure they just said it, we're hanging a few points up on the board. So
I'm back. I was talking to the Manitoba crowd.
Okay.
They
mixing it up with the Bisons.
mixing it up with the Bisons. When the Bisons want you, you had to go. I had to go over.
There you go.
He goes, "Are you the guy on the air?" Maybe.
Do you like what you're hearing?
Yeah. What have you heard?
Yeah.
No. We heard it was good there, but then we had a problem with the Wi-Fi. I said, "Yeah, we had some IT boys here working on the Wi-Fi for the club, and they sort of got fooling around with our signal." Brian, our producer, wasn't real happy, and we lost the feed there last night for a while, and then we came in this morning and we didn't have a feed on sheet 5. So the boys that were doing the commentating, well, they left, got it fixed. So Brian's doing the camera work, and someone goes, "Well, how come there's no audio?" And they go, "The audio left."
Hand them a mic.
That was funny, because I said to Brian, I said, "Well, what happened to the camera?" I don't know. When they said I didn't have a signal and we couldn't do, I guess they decided to take off on me.
Yeah.
it wasn't until like the fifth end that they were able to get that up and running again. But it was just funny. It was, how come there's video, but there's no audio? How come? So one of the audio people, they left me.
Yeah.
Talk to Doty. Talk to Doty.
Hand them a headset. Here you go, boys. Couldn't have been anybody I know. They would have sat down and started talking.
Yeah, it could have been. Definitely wasn't Tony Walsh.
No, the bucket. Yeah, Bucket Walsh. Yeah.
And Tony, I mean, for you folks listening in, Tony, a longtime curler here, a former firefighter. Now he's a city councillor.
Yeah.
And so he went from putting out one type of fire to putting out political fires now. But he loves it, though. He loves it. He really enjoys it. So
he truly does. Yeah, he's quite a character, quite a colorful character in the river here.
But it's great to have like a community, a population here, greater membership with 17,000.
Yeah. With like most cities in the east here, when the city was first formed, we probably had probably more than 25,000 people here, and we've seen an exodus out west to the oil patch and places beyond, greener pastures, and a little migration to the south of the province too. So it's holding right around. We've had a little population bump down the last 2 years with the payroll center coming into the river. So
yeah. Nice shot there by Martin. And another thing I see coming into the city on both sides of the river is large nursing homes are going up on both sides.
Yes.
You know, because we know at one time this area was two areas, Chatham and Newcastle.
Yeah.
So what happened in Newcastle has to happen in Chatham.
Well, yeah.
It might be one city now, but it's still,
yeah.
There's a river dividing it, okay?
A river runs through it. I know there was I know if you go up to Thunder Bay, it's still it still looked as two halves making a whole, and they've been Thunder Bay for a long time.
Yeah.
So I've been involved in things in the community on a city level. I do have a business in one of the towns, but I'm actually from the other, so I tell folks I'm from the Miramichi. So truly,
and any of you folks who live in a community that has a river going through it, you know what we mean.
Yeah,
because even in Fredericton, the capital city, there's the north side and the south side.
Yeah, and of course it used to be Nashua and New Maryland, so they've the province has amalgamated a few regional areas. There's 11 altogether service districts put together to make up our little city, and we get along pretty well. There's still two separate high schools, so you have that type of rivalry.
James N. Hill and Miramichi.
Miramichi Valley, yeah. And
my wife was up with the basketball team this past weekend. They're St. John High School Greyhounds. They end up coming third.
Yeah. So it's it's nice to see something like the payroll center come to town, because like anywhere in the Maritimes, the jobs are needed.
Yeah. And here is Martin coming in there with her.
Yeah, they're laying 3, and they just put a 4th counter in. Of course, I think they'd probably like to hide that rock.
Do I just leave it and let it work?
Because it's not really.
It says no backup found.
It's not sitting in a very good spot for them, so chance to see the hit and roll in 3s, and it looks like they're going to try and play a little hit and roll, because if they can scoot something behind those top 2 rocks, there's no way for them to get at it. And it'd be really nice to see the girls score for sure. So Chantel's throwing her last here, last mate's rocks, and see if she can't get a little flip in behind, but she sees the girls are on and off it, so we pretty close to the roll here. Just has to come up a hair, and lovely shot by Chantel. Got the flip inside, and Nunavut's laying 1. Like we say, little victories. So all the sheets are back in action again, of course, and some of the games are fairly close. We have a few that are a bit on the tough end, a couple teams on the tough end of the stick, but we'll give you the rundown of the scores after we finished up our end here on sheet B. BC's going to try and make just a come around there. Great roll by Chantel on her last stone. In this event, teams have to play 6 ends, so it's and teams really don't want to be embarrassed, but sometimes when you're trying hard to score multiple points, it's hard not to give up points because you have to leave rocks in play, so you're kind of playing to the hand with the lead, and half shots mean so much more when you're in the lead in a game like this.
Hard guys, hard! Hard guys!
Oh, there, the word all makes sense again.
Okay. Crisis, what crisis?
Right.
So Lori's rock coming around. Looks like she might be a little short on that. Yeah, she's top 12 foot, so chance for Nunavut to try and get a second counter into the rings.
They want to break the goose egg.
Yes, yeah. And
that's the battle now.
Yeah,
Come on, we can do this.
Yes, sir. So you want to kind of sneak a second one in here, but you don't want to set BC up, so you got to watch that. It's good, but not too good. I know I would be awfully tempted to even go deep into the rings on this one, past my counter, because you'd hate to give Team BC a big target to play the run back with. So I'd want this back 8 foot if I could get it. So nice throw by Allison Griffin. She's placed that around, and yeah, good spot because she's up high enough. There's no double, and they can't run it back and get shot rock out of it. But it does give BC a fairly big target for the run back.
I've got an idea for you, Joe. Get you back into curling.
Okay.
Curl left-handed.
Yeah, there you go.
Wouldn't affect the knee any.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be straight.
Yeah, but you got to push with something, right?
Well.
Yeah, the knee's in. Believe me, it's.
You can't bend down that far. I could bend down, but then I can't get back up.
Yeah, there'd be no leg drive, believe me. Yeah. We may need a new hinge there, so we'll. So now Lori's in the hack, going to try and play a run back here. Right now, just you know, the Nunavut girls just love to get on the board. So
yeah.
And tell you the truth, I bet Lori wouldn't mind seeing getting on the board either. So
I tell you this.
But you can't.
Lori Olson is a very, very good skipper.
Yeah, she's played a nice game.
Yeah. There's
made one run back, but Nunavut's laying 2, so now they have a chance to get 3 and get on the board and just feel a little bit better about the game. They played a nice end, and Team BC did what they could. So it's nice to see the girls get back on track here. So Allison's rock's on the way. The girls are on it and off it.
Yep. Last shot here.
Yeah.
5th hand.
And get back right off it now. And looks like she's got right in there for 3. She's got a little touch on the rock. She's
nice.
Got her 3 points. So
good
11
for her.
3. Yes, sir.
Good for her.
Yeah, smiles all around.
Got some high fives going there.
Yeah, smiles all around for the girls. So.
And then they're going to say, "Well, that wasn't that hard."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Why didn't we?
Why did we wait so long? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Good to see.
When it's running the other way, it's awful hard to go back the other way. Let me tell you. So now that we're going into the 6th end, and we'll run through the scores that are posted so far on the other sheets. After 5 ends, it's 7-2 for Team Nova Scotia, up over Team Nunavut, and Team Nova Scotia is a hammer there, so they're well in control on that one. It's 4-1 with Team Alberta over Team Yukon, and both these are men's games. This is on sheet A and C. On D, we have Northern Ontario, Quebec, and Northern Ontario is up 6-3 with Hammer. On sheet E is another men's game. Quebec is leading PEI 4-2, and PEI is the Hammer. And on the far end, it's 5-2 for Team Northwest Territories, and Northwest Territories has a Hammer there. So we have some good games going on, and
well, you find in each pool now, sort of, you have the upper echelon teams,
yep.
but then you have a nice mix of teams in the middle there that give each other real good games,
yeah,
right?
A lot of these teams can play, and some of these teams that we were saying how Team Northwest Territories won in an extra end, and I know the other
beat Alberta.
Yeah, the other team last night had a really good game. So when they were playing, Manitoba was playing Newfoundland, and Newfoundland had a chance to tie the game with the last shot, but they ran out of time. So that's something we don't see very often in the game. Lost 7-3, but they had an open hit to tie the game, and we're 2 seconds shy of getting the rock off. Yeah. So yeah, it's there's a lot of close games out there, and there is a little separation in the teams as far as abilities go, but there's lots of good competitive games too, and we'd like to see, every one of the teams probably go away from this with at least a win. It'd be nice to see for them, but if not, at least they'll know that they've been in some of the games.
Yeah.
We're seeing
something to build on.
Yeah, we've seen Team BC now has brought out their 5th player to play the 6th end, so nice for the girls to get her in the game.
Yeah. So you can make substitutions like that.
Yes,
through
you can.
a game?
Through a game,
yeah. That's nice.
Absolutely, yeah. Teresa Thorin is the 5th player for Team BC, so it gives us a chance here to show us her stuff. And a good chance to get a little bit of feel for the ice and not a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Well, and you look at some of these teams. Obviously, it was I talked to the Ontario girls yesterday. Now they had their play downs this fall.
Yeah.
And it was a battle just to get out of Ontario.
Oh,
and they played really well. And the girls are from Oshawa, and they defeated York in the final. I think it was in extra ends, and they just. They had a great run of it in their province.
Yes.
And so for some of these teams, I imagine like Manitoba and Alberta, it'd be no difference. Just to get out of their province was a major accomplishment.
Even our own home little province here in New Brunswick, I know there's great interest in the Travelers, and you have to play and qualify at your club to go to the provincials.
Part 1.
Yeah, and I can tell you truly. At our club, all the men's teams like to get after it. You usually see a bunch of them that play in the Tuesday night or the Thursday night men's league, and same with the ladies. They have play downs, and it's competitive. People want to go to this. So and we were fortunate to have a team qualify a few years ago, and Sean Ingersoll, the chairman of the event, was the skip of that team, and that's why Sean got on board to try and bring that here.
Yeah, I was telling the folks when you were doing saving your daughter from her flat tire, that how Sean was able to get it here. And a lot of these teams have experience, playing junior, playing at a good competitive level, but due to life, family, work commitments and stuff, to try to make the commitment. With these teams that go to the Brier or the Scotties, well, then that's just, But it's nice that you said, you know what? There's still a national championship.
That's right.
That we can compete in.
Yeah.
And do well in.
Yeah.
So that's what makes this event just a wonderful event. Because there's a lot of people who, you still get that competitive.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to play and still chase after something, right? And that's what Travelers has brought back into the game of curling. And this is definitely what we call the fun aspect of the game. These teams are here, they're competitive, but they're having a blast and enjoying just what's going on. So the Team Nunavut has a rock out in front. We have a blue counter in back of the 12, but they have a center guard, and center guard being the more dangerous rock and something to use for Team Nunavut. We're going to see them coming around here now. And like I say, after hanging up that 3 in the last end, the girls probably feel a little better about what's going on, and they won't mind if this is out in front. It gives them something useful. In a game like this, we talk about patience, and the rock didn't bury. That's why the girls backed off sweeping it. Since it wasn't going to bury, they didn't want it too deep. And if they hit this in the nose, it's something that they can come around. Because really all they're trying to do is just score a point here.
I think Teresa's
going to get a chance to throw a stone here. Laurie has stepped out, so the skip for BC is taking a break, and the fifth player stepping in at second for
nice shot.
Team BC. Yeah,
oh, look at that.
Lovely little run back, and
no problem.
Yeah, little flip inside.
Who needs to warm up?
There you go. Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Let me sit for four or five ends. I'll be all right.
Chance to shine, for sure.
Just give me a nod.
Yeah. Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach.
So Nunavut's not backing off the game plan. They realize that they're down pretty hard, playing for the second coming around again. And Carmen, she's pretty much throwing that there on her own. A little deeper than she wanted, but well buried behind the 2 guards, and Nunavut is sitting shot rock. BC's decided that they want to open the house up a little bit and just keep it simple. So now Teresa has a chance to be curling 100% here now. Keith, she makes this second
That's
set.
right. Going to be hard to get her out of the lineup.
Yeah, I tell you, she makes 2, and she may be the only person in this event curling 100%, right?
Oh, just misses it.
Yeah.
But
she got that rock. So
look at that.
I think we have to give her 4 points for that one. That was terrific. Opened it up a fair bit. And,
yes, good job.
Yeah, when it's going against you, it's going against you. That's so there. If the game doesn't continue, we have a 100% curler here at the Travelers this year.
She has to do it, Costanza. I'm leaving. Leaving a high. No. I'm not going back in. I did my bits.
Yeah. Nice for her to come in and make a couple of shots, and yeah, upward and onward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be kind of brushing the hands together, saying, "Yeah, I did my."
That was my shot.
I did my practice.
Yeah.
So again, we see Nunavut trying to use that center guard. They're all over this. Must have been a little tight in the release. Girls are working the stone hard. And short isn't terrible here. Short's all right. We still got 7 more rocks to come. That was the first mate's rocks, and we're seeing BC going to go after the long guard. And with the way the ice is curling so much, anything behind that long guard wouldn't really be, you could get that with either turn. So I guess we've had a little change of heart, and the girls look like they're going to come around the whole works. So the rock's underway. A lot of room on this. lots of handles, so really going to have to work to get it over and get behind. So Lisa's rock looks like it's going to hang out there a little bit. Not going to be in behind cover, but I think you'll see Nunavut just ignore that. They've got 2 rocks up front, guarding a fair chunk of the 4-foot, and for sure they're just going to try and come around this and see if they can sink one in there.
So just for the folks watching that might not be avid curlers, when like she let her rock go and it was going a little deep, and Griffin started to sweep, when is she allowed to start to sweep on that rock? When it hits the tee line?
Yes.
When the rock hits the tee line.
Yeah, when the rock is crossing the tee line, you can start to sweep from there back. It's the other team's stone until it gets there. And if they aren't going to sweep it, then they have to back up and allow you to step in and sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just, she can't be, she has to wait till that rock touches that tee line,
yes.
and then it's fair game for her.
As it's coming across the tee line, she can start to sweep.
The same thing like with this one here. See how she's waiting, and then she can take over.
Yeah.
And they're even helping each other.
Well, she realized that she was blocking her out a little bit.
Yeah.
So as a courtesy, rather than get up and
try to get out of the way.
Get out of the way, she decided that she'll just keep helping Kelsey, and you see that some too. Yeah, a lot of sportsmanship in our sport. She knew when she stepped back, she would be blocking her a little bit, so she just helped her get the rock all the way through. So we're still trying to get something behind those 2 long counters, and the girls are scrubbing now. Teresa's given a chance to show us her whole games. Good quick brush in front of the rock, and nice weight this time, but just not the finish.
So three BC counting, and BC has the hammer this time too, don't they?
Yeah, and we have a final on sheet A. Team Nova Scotia in the men's defeating Team Nunavut 11-2, so we have one in the books already. Sometimes you'll see an X on the board in a game. You'll see that in the national finals, and when an end isn't completed, we hang an X and the end doesn't count. In that game, Team Nova Scotia threw their last rock, made the shot, and counted 4, so the 4 does go up. It actually does count.
Good shot here.
Yeah, Allison took out the BC stones. She was kind of hoping for a little inside turn. She got the outside turn, but now Kelsey has a chance to make the same shot.
They're cooking spaghetti here with homemade sauce.
Yeah,
and a lot of garlic bread.
You can smell the garlic bread. Yes, sir, boys. That's wafting our way.
Oof.
Yeah.
Even if you're not hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, smell that bread.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the hot turkey sandwich last night. It was excellent.
I did. I did too.
That was excellent. So.
Yeah, cranberries, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, little strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, it was quite tasty.
Yeah.
And
$12 all in, folks.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know.
And the kitchen staff's doing a great job here.
Just want to get a piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice shot. Didn't touch her own.
Yeah, she's going to roll out. And I think the only thing we're going to see Nunavut do is, okay, let's see if we can't really sink one here. And I think, regardless of who scores, I think these will be the last 2 shots thrown on our game tonight. So Allison's rock's on the way, and if she does get this in, she does have 2 lovely guards out front. Looks like she has pretty nice weight, so you can get some finish out of this now. Curling up some. And she is buried a little deep, and she wants to be, but she's definitely buried. And when we do go across the sheets, we see sheet C, we see 4-2 for Alberta over Yukon Territory. That's a men's game. The ladies' game on sheet D, it's 9-3 with Northern Ontario leading Quebec. 4-3 in the men's game beside that on E, Quebec leading PEI. And it's 7-2 now for the Northwest Territories on sheet F over Saskatchewan. So the girls from the Territories really haven't taken their foot off the pedal. They're still playing well.
Could be 4-0.
Yeah. And in that pool, Saskatchewan is right there with them. So at 2-1. Yeah. So in third place in the pool. So it's a big game. It gives Saskatchewan 2 losses and brings a team with 2 losses back into the swing of things.
Martin's last shot.
Yeah, Kelsey's shot's on the way. The girls just trying to put one under the umbrella here, so to speak. And they're working it pretty hard. Looks like really nice weight though.
Look at that.
Yes, sir. Look at that. She just dropped one right under the umbrella, like we said. So we have a final here of 12-3.
12-3.
And that keeps BC right around things. Moves BC to 3-2, and Nunavut is now 1-4. So that would they wouldn't have a chance now at the playoffs with that result.
Well, listen, Joe, thank you so much for popping in and give us your expertise. And we've got a big day tomorrow. We got one more round tonight, one more draw at 7:30 tonight, and then 4 rounds tomorrow. And then for you folks on Friday, if we have any tiebreakers,
yes,
they will be at 8:30 in the morning. And then quarterfinals will start at 1:30 in men's and women's play, and then the semis will be at 6:30. And as we said, if you finish first in your pool, you get a bye to the semis. Second and third will play off in a crossover, and the winner of that goes to the semis. And then Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Atlantic time will be the bronze and gold medal games. So on behalf of Joe Hawks, this is Keith Rains signing off for now from the Miramichi Curling Club at the 2018 Travelers Club Championships. Thank you for watching.
Night, folks.
We remain silent when they falter. We even call our own foul.